everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me today. I do appreciate it. We're back with week 3 of the Bugtopia and Entomology story, hosted by the lovely Mandy from Junk Journal Fix with SunflowersAndDors and Suzanne from Nonstop Papercrafts. I've gone and done it again. I've gone and cut the freebie up, but I'm sure that you'll be able to find it. Obviously, Mandy and Suzanne will be showing their freebies, and I'm using Mandy's freebies today. So the freebies consisted of some note cards, some insect cards, which are these ones here, with the explanation of those insects, some names for the insects themselves, and then I've used a sheet from the kit to produce some backing sheets for my pad. And the prompt today is botanical and insect pairing cards. Now, I had to ask Mandy what a pairing card was because I assumed that it was a bit like Snap. And then I saw the freebie, so I'm getting it. I'm getting there. So with the freebie, she provides everything that you need to make pairing cards. And pairing cards is your insect and your explanation, and you pair them together. So I decided to do a zigzag fold type. I wouldn't call it a booklet, although that's what it looks like. But we can make it out of an A4 card, and I'm using black just because I want to make the papers and the insects pop a little bit. So I'm using black. I'm using an A4 sheet that you can get 2 out of, and you end up with this sheet, this strip here. Don't throw this away because this is handy for either reinforcing or making your reinforced circles, So it's handy for those sort of things because it's so small. So we want to cut 3 3/4 out of, so that's your full A4 sheet, and we're just going to cut that 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 long. We're going to score this, but I'm going to need my big scoreboard to do it, just because we're going to do it with the longer length. So I'll just grab that and we'll score that now. So we need to score at 2.5. We need to score at 5. We need to score at 7.5, and we need to score at 10. Okay, so you have 4 score lines. You're going to do that with both pieces. So I'll just do that again. So it's 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Okay, and that's all I need the scoreboard for. I'll just pop that away. And then I'm going to zigzag these like so. And I'm going to do this one in a zigzag as well. Okay. And then your 2 end pieces, which are, I don't know how long they are, whatever's left from your A4 sheet is 1 3/4. And what we're going to do is we're going to pop those 2 together to make another piece of 2.5. Okay, so I'm going to line it up on my board. It's 1, 2, 2.5. So each sheet or each piece is 2.5 inches. So we need to glue this at 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to line this up on my board here on a line, and then I'm going to line this one up at 1, 2, 2.5, which is this line here, and then I'm going to glue those 2 together. And I'm going to use some Collal, only so that it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And whereabouts do I need to? It's about there. So I just need to give it a little bit of wiggle room from about here. Okay. You don't need to be too precise with the glue. going to rub any excess glue that I've got first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my booklet back up so that I can get that pretty much in the right place before I put it down on both sides. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. Then we're going to make sure that we've got the zigzags going in the right direction. And then we're just going to make sure that that is all level and square, which it is now. Okay, so that's those two pieces done. So you should end up with a piece like this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 squares that we're going to complete. And then what I'm going to do, so that's my front page. Okay, so we're going to create a front page first. And I was thinking of the dragonfly. I do like the dragonfly actually. Now I wasn't sure whether to put some paper on the back of this. So I have cut some papers just so that it gives me a nice border around it. And then this can sit wherever you want it to sit. Now I've backed my images on the back of some black card, but I think my papers are slightly too small. Now I do quite like that 1989 there, 1899, but I could put the image offset. Oh, I don't know. No, I'm going to pop it there. So that's going to be my front one, and I have the dragonfly. So all I've done with the names is I've just grunged them up a little bit, and I'm just going to stick my dragonfly here, and that's probably all I'm going to do. Now I have inked everything, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue. Okay, now your dragonfly piece is this top one, and that's really, I'm going to put this on this side. So I'm going to need to put on another piece of paper, and I think we'll put that one onto there, and I'm going to stick, I like this wing more than I like that, so yeah, so I'm going to stick that on. And I didn't know whether to put these on black card. Okay, so I decided to just back these onto card as well, because I think it's a lot easier to see, and I think it gives it a coherent look. So I've inked these books up in case I use them, and some of these labels in case I use them. They're just labels and bits that I've got left over from previous weeks, and so I think I am going to pop that onto there. So I'm just gonna pop that onto there, sort of level in that page. And then I like this habitat. Now there is a couple of these labels left on my sheet which I might take off yet. I think I'd like to go higher, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe. And then I found this mosquito, so I've inked him up, and because it's something that a dragonfly would eat, I decided to pop him on there instead of a dragonfly, because I think it's more fun. I like that. So on the back sides of these, I'm going to pop these notelets, and they're just so that for whatever's under behind it, or in front of it I should say, you can, sorry, that's just letting me know that I'm using the freebie. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get these stuck down. Okay, so I've done all of the back with all of the numbered notelets, and I quite like that. I inked around it. I've enhanced some of the grunge that's on the papers, but to be honest, it didn't really need it. And I don't want to embellish any more on there because I want to keep those as writing spaces. So we're now going to come to the front. This is the inside of our folded book. And just so that we get it right, I'm folding it up. So what we need is our papers here. So we have a grasshopper next with our bit of explanation there. So I'm wondering whether to, I want to get some blue in here. I think he looks better on a cream base. So I'm going to pop him on a cream base at the top there and just stick grasshopper on. And then I'm going to just do that all the way through. And then we'll embellish, sorry, we'll embellish if we need to. But I've got a feeling that we won't need to. So I'm just going to go ahead and just glue these on. You obviously don't need to watch me do this. Okay, so I think we're done. And I love the way this has come out. So it stands up. Quite a nice little standy uppy thing. And we have our front cover with the dragonfly. We have our explanation on the back of that. And then we have all of our information as we go through our little book on ladybugs and butterflies and bumblebee. And then on the last one, which is the beetle, we have to turn over because we've got this one here, which I love that. I love this beetle. I think he's just the sweetest thing. He just looks so real. It would scare me to death if that was real life. And then on the back here, we have all our notes that we can write. So I'm thoroughly in love with the way that came out. I really was looking forward to sort of embellishing more, but I just don't think it really needs it. I think the papers speak for themselves. And I think because we've grunged up certain parts of it and, made these pop with the black card, I think it's worked out quite okay without having to embellish anymore. But you do whatever you want to do to create yours. I think these are great. So there's your pairing cards, and it's in a nice little book. You could pop a clip on it. It doesn't actually need a clip, I've got to say, and I don't know whether I'll get that on there. But you could pop a clip on it. It is quite a hefty piece, so I don't know whether that would go into a journal pocket or whether you need that to be a standalone piece. But I thoroughly enjoyed these. Now, you don't really need to make them into this zigzag. You could actually cut them so that you've got a pair there and a pair there. If you was to cut those two off there and make these as single cards, then you've got 2 writing spaces on the back and that there. So you could actually not have to do the the zigzag if you don't want to. You can just make your pairing piece like this and put your journal space on the back, and that could just be one card, one journal card that you can put in there, or you can close it like a booklet and have it open with the 2 pieces on the back. There's lots of alternatives to these, but I just absolutely love the way that it's come out. And as I say, I really don't think it needs embellishing any more than what it is. So I thoroughly hope that you enjoyed that, because I have so enjoyed this event. I'm unfortunately going home in a few days, and I won't be doing any more videos until I actually come back in August. So I'm hoping to come back to the Bugtopia kits and actually do a full blown journal with using an altered book. So I'm going to look for a book while I'm away. I'm going to look for some supplies, and that's what my plan is when I come back. If that's going to appeal to you, then please do join me. Have a fantastic summer, and I will see you in August. Thanks so much for watching. Please do go across and watch everyone else's videos, because there's been some absolutely fantastic makes in this collaboration, and Suzanne's design team have been absolutely phenomenal. So do go across and support each and every one of those, because it will be worth it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.